Ghost of Yotei has been out for about 2 weeks now, and I just wanted to sit down and explain why this game's open world exploration is simply one of my favorites ever. It's interesting to me because I think on the surface you can look at this game and say, oh, well, it's not really doing anything super unique, right? It's inherently formulaic in the way that a lot of open world video games have felt for the past 10 to 15 years, I would say. Big open map with lots of different regions to explore. Those regions have unique biomes. They feel different when you're in each of them. There's random events that will pop up and catch your attention, grab you away from whatever you were doing before, and kind of throw you down a rabbit hole, a little adventure that, feels fun and satisfying by the end. And of course, let's not forget traveling through the open world with the horse and the way that the flowers work in this game, and picking up items gives you a little speed boost. So there's something just slightly engaging with your brain to do while you're on a horse, while you're traveling through the world. These are fundamentals that, I think it shouldn't get lost in the conversation of this game's open world exploration, that the game just nails. And sometimes games like this don't nail it. This one absolutely nails these. However, I think the secret sauce to this game's open world exploration is the vibiness of it. And I actually want to say, I think it comes a lot from the animation and the art direction that they choose for the Ghost games. I made a video not too long ago, earlier this year actually, on my main channel, talking about, why modern graphics may not be that great for games, because it sets this weird precedent, we need to make every single game photorealistic. It needs to look like real life. And I argued, let's not do that, because that stifles creativity, and certain decisions and choices that you might make otherwise are bound by reality. What you see when you go outside, it's very cool to see something look lifelike in a video game. That's an incredible achievement in and of itself. But if games are an art form and sort of an impressionistic version of reality, then I'm not sure. I think you lose something when you're going for just photorealism over something that is a little more directed in its art direction. When you ride around Ghost of Yotei, it's very clear this is not exactly reality. This is not a real world, and the way that it's laid out and presented to you is not trying to convince you that this is actually Japan and this is the, the region of Ezo. Instead, it's trying to give you these striking vignettes, I want to say. These just set up scenarios with the world design and, how it looks when you find a hot spring at the top of a small hill. That's just this, beautiful crimson tree, and, you see the steaming bath rising from that. The shrines that are set atop these mountains, these are little set pieces. I think that's really the term that I'm looking for. They're set piece moments, and this game tries to give you as many set piece moments as possible, to the point where it feels like in a pretty decently sized open world video game here, there's no fat in this world. It kind of blows my mind. Every square inch of this real estate of the game world, the environment that's being used, feels like it is serving a purpose, either to paint a scene that you're supposed to just go up and observe, or as a, maybe a backdrop for some more curated content, some story stuff, maybe a side quest, something like that. And I love the way the camera moves in this game especially. It's kind of like they knew it from Ghost of Tsushima coming into Ghost of Yotei, in the main two zones where you can, just ride around on your horse and really take in the environment, the atmosphere. Another way they do this, and I love it, is that there is no HUD in this video game unless you need it. Unless you're saying, I need to see where my next objective is using the guiding wind, you swipe up on your controller and you're going to see the guiding wind thing tell you, okay, we're going over here. But otherwise, you don't have anything messing up the vibe, the aesthetic that you're living in, that you're immersed in, this fictitious world of Japan. All of that focus is just on you, man. You are in the shoes of Atsu. You are in her journey and adventure, and HUD is not going to get in the way of that. The way the camera will zoom out when you're at the very top of Mount Yotei, so you can look over this entire map as you're kind of running around the rim of this mountaintop is just incredible. Another thing I've always wondered, and I think I finally found the answer for, is between Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei, why does Sucker Punch make the parkour feel like that? And what I mean by like that is it's like very loose, and it's not really concerned with you pressing buttons quickly or finding the right combination in order to pull off, the best efficient move. I think it's really to just facilitate you soaking in what's around you and the environment. It's to take off that mental load that might be there if there was some intricate gameplay system, involved with climbing. I mean, you do have the grappling hook, and there's a couple different ways to use it, and you do have to aim for tree branches and stuff like that. But outside of that, it's just to keep you in the moment. And for the longest time, I've been like, why? This could clearly feel better. And it's the fact that Sucker Punch knows that, because they have very tactile feeling gameplay in, combat, different areas of this game. But the parkour is very simplistic, and I think that is absolutely purposeful. Now I want to talk about these different regions. So at the top of the video, I said, this game does stuff that's very normal, you should expect in open world games, but just does it very well. But the regions of this game, I think, are really well done. Ishikawa Plain, hunting for the Oni, is one of the first places I visited, and the contrast between the first grassy plains of the Yotei grasslands and this place is massive just in the color palette. Not only does it match thematically with this burning place, the Oni, his whole thing is burning down buildings and displacing everyone here for the Yotei 6 to take advantage of them. And so what do you have? You have these burning, colorful, just deep orangey, yellow, and red grasslands that really drive that, thematic feeling home. I just wrapped up the Kitsune region of this game, which is Teshio Ridge. And wow, let me tell you, the feeling, the difference between this place and everywhere else is fantastic. First off, you can freeze here. So some of the areas that you're in, depending on the weather, you have to look for a campfire or else Atsu will die. And again, it's not too obtrusive. It's just a little bit of flavor with the environment that kind of changes the way you approach it. And when it's not super snowy, there's a lot of fog and mist. And again, that's sort of like the vibe that they're trying to give off with the Kitsune, who is the leader of the Nine Tails, this ninja shinobi looking, faction here that you're trying to take out. And it makes sense for things to be obscured, for things to be not super clear in this area. You'll get some extreme weather here, like blizzards that, just completely change kind of the visual palette of what you're looking at and give you a way for the environment to kind of suck you in and take over for just a moment. A lot of the grass in this region is dead or dying under this cold. And I don't know, it all ties in together and it makes sense. It feels cohesive. And again, it's purposeful. You also have Tokachi Range, which has some beautiful locations as well. And it's got its own different flavor. But I actually want to talk about my favorite location just because of the timing, where it is in the game, and its purpose. And that's the Nipe Mountains. It's when you cross the Great Lake, then you have a different kind of region dedicated solely to the Ainu. This is such a vibey place, and it's in between major story beats. This is almost the game's way of giving you a breather in between important, events in the story. Instead of rushing you to hunt the Kitsune, you're going to stop and learn about the Ainu, their people, their customs. There's some wonderful side missions in this area that I felt were absolutely beautiful, almost brought a tear to my eye. It's this dense, foresty area that's rainy a lot of the times, but it's got this evergreen vibe. Maybe something you'd find in the Pacific Northwest, probably around Seattle where Sucker Punch is located. The outfit they give you, the Ainu outfit, is just fantastic, and there's something different about this area, man. I mean, I think there is a little bit of combat here, but it's also not a lot of combat. Compared to the rest of the game, it's the least combat area. So you're just vibing, and it feels incredible. I loved this, 30, 45, maybe hour-long section in this 50-plus hour open world video game. At the end of the day, with open world exploration 2, I think what you have to have, what you must have, is things that pay off and also don't get too repetitive by the end. So in all these activities, it's not something that you feel like you're grinding your head against a wall doing over and over, and you're like, oh my goodness, I have to do another altar of reflection. You know, oh my gosh, another bamboo strike, that sucks. I have not felt that, and I am 46 hours into this, playthrough. Everything gives you a gameplay bonus, but some things give you, some narrative flair too, but also it serves this general vibe. Everything is placed in a location where you are going to see something incredibly pleasing to the eye. You know, this game makes you feel like you're wrapped in nature in a way. It really does just try to put you in the moment where you are so you can kind of just, disappear into the game. It's really cool. I think the last thing I'll talk about here, because I'm probably rambling too much by this point, is the ways that this game lets you manually find what you're looking for. And also, we already talked about the organic stuff, but I'm talking about the spyglass. Ever since they showed that feature at the very beginning of the game, I've been using it a lot. Every single time I get to a high point in this game, I'm pulling out my spyglass and I'm looking for places dotting the landscape that I may not have discovered yet. And I think that's so cool. A tiny gripe, though, for me is that you have the cartographer who just kind of gives you locations away. And then you also had the shamisen, which will dynamically guide you without showing you exactly, what you're looking for on the map. I don't know about you guys, but anytime a game will let me explore without even touching a map is a huge, huge plus. This game gives you options for both. So if you're not like me and you say, I want to look on the map, place that marker, and then have the game send me there, I totally get that, and that's, a different preference. This game caters to both of us. It really does. You don't have to go to the cartographer and buy those maps. You can save your money the entire game. The only thing with the shamisen is you have to find those songs for Atsu to play in order to guide you to certain things. So it's kind of gated by the random nature of playing an open world video game. You don't know which song you're going to run across first, and so therefore you're missing out on a lot of stuff. At the same time, I love the decision to cater to everyone. And then, of course, it would be a mistake to not mention the sumie, probably the ultimate version of just sticking within the moment and observing what's around you and drawing it. It's so beautiful, and I think the message of the sumie, this impressionistic version of reality, exactly matches what the game itself is trying to say about its own art. It's sort of meta in that way. So yeah, I think I've kind of hit the points that I wanted to hit. This game, Ghost of Yotei, it does its own thing with the art direction. And I think in all of these decisions, it's a very conscious effort to keep you in the experience. Declutter, keep you engaged, not waste any space, but also give you plenty of opportunities to just slow down, stop rushing through this open world video game, and just soak in the vibes. Just really just simmer in what this game is showing you. And it's certainly put a spell on me that has not worn off nearly 4 dozen hours in. I'm approaching the end of this game, and I don't do formal reviews, but maybe I really should, because I think this one is really ticking so many boxes for me. Kind of love it, kind of can't stop thinking about it. And maybe I should do that. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching here on the second channel. This is another video that I just made super quickly, but I'm going to put together. Hopefully it's fun to watch and interesting. And I do want to say, small note on this second channel, one video I had to take down, and 2 videos I had to blur out the majority of it because I'm trying to get this second channel partnered. And anyways, that forced me to blur out sections of my last 2 videos where I reused footage from my main channel. Long story short, it's a lot less complicated to just do that than try to get somebody on the phone at Google to explain why it's okay for me to reuse my own footage. That's why I did that. I will never do that again on this channel, I promise you. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will talk to you next time.